My name is Ashley. I'm about to share a story that still makes me shiver whenever I hear strange sounds in the dark. Last winter, I moved into a quaint one-bedroom house on the outskirts of Spokane, Washington. It was an old but charming little place, nestled quietly against dense woods. Friends warned me about living alone so close to a forest, but I treasured the peace and privacy it offered. Initially, everything seemed perfect. I settled comfortably, decorating and working from home as a freelance graphic designer. But around mid-February, strange occurrences began subtly creeping into my daily routine. A spoon mysteriously appeared in the sink after I'd sworn I'd cleaned up. My shampoo bottle shifted slightly without explanation. The lights flickered occasionally for no apparent reason. At first, I shrugged these incidents off, attributing them to exhaustion or forgetfulness. Then, one quiet night while watching TV, I heard a gentle tapping coming from inside the walls. Not the frantic scratching of rodents, but slow, deliberate knocks, almost rhythmic. Initially, I dismissed it as old pipes or expanding wood, but the knocking persisted night after night, always after midnight, as though it waited for me to switch off the TV. Days later, a new, unsettling sound arose, faint scratching from the vent near my bedroom ceiling. It was brief, just a second, then silence. I checked, shining my phone's flashlight into the dark vent, but saw nothing. Still, an uneasy feeling lingered. One morning, 3 weeks after the noises started, I awoke to find my back door wide open. Nothing appeared stolen or disturbed, but the door stood silently ajar as though someone had hastily left or quietly slipped in. Panicked, I called the police. They suspected a faulty lock and recommended changing them. I promptly replaced every lock, yet the unsettling feeling remained. That night, I lay awake in bed when I heard scratching again, followed by distinct footsteps, this time above me, moving slowly in the crawl space between my ceiling and the roof. The sounds stopped as abruptly as they started the moment I reached for my phone. Sleep eluded me entirely. At first light, armed with a flashlight and shaky nerves, I climbed into the attic through a small access panel. Amid dusty insulation and dead insects, I discovered something chilling in a corner: a crumpled sleeping bag, an empty granola bar wrapper, and a half-empty water bottle. Someone had been living right above me. I bolted outside, trembling, and called the police again, refusing to go back inside. This time, officers thoroughly searched the home and found the intruder hiding in a cramped space behind my bedroom closet wall. He had constructed a narrow tunnel, accessible via a loose panel behind the laundry room fireplace. Inside, there was a makeshift camp, bags of food, and a pile of clothes. The police estimated he'd been living there for at least a month. Worse still, they found a small hole carefully drilled through the drywall, hidden behind a vent grate. From there, he had a clear view of my bed, watching me sleep night after night. The man had no identification and offered no explanation. Authorities suspected he had observed me even before I moved in, noting old scratch marks suggesting he'd been using the crawl spaces long before I noticed anything unusual. I moved out immediately. Although the landlord attempted repairs and renovations, the house remained vacant. Neighbors later told me a young couple briefly moved in but abruptly left within a month without explanation. To this day, the thought of someone silently living mere inches from me in the darkness fills me with dread, a haunting reminder each night that the line between safety and nightmare can be as thin as a wall.